So I get to share with you the power in mindset, and I will tell you that mindset is absolutely the foundation of where I'm at today. So I also get to be a little bit of a storyteller because I have to tell you my story in order for you to truly understand the impact of the mindset. So mindset is what's brought me to living my kind of lifestyle, and having the right mindset will also help you get to your kind of lifestyle. So my lifestyle that I am enjoying and incredibly blessed to wake up every single morning and be able to live this life that I'm living right now today. Although I've got a lot of things in front of me and a lot I want to do, I'm content where I'm at. Driven, but content, yeah? So first of all, I own 2 standalone Fit Body Bootcamp locations. I get to be a fitness writer. I get to compete when I want to compete. Above all else, I get to be doing what I love doing, which is I'm extremely passionate about inspiring, coaching, and motivating others to live a healthy and fit lifestyle. And then, of course, on top of that, I am financially comfortable, which is a nice perk in the whole big scheme of things. In addition to that, I get to be a very involved mom to my 13-year-old son, who is by far my inspiration. We spend a lot of time on the football field, and this is the deal. I'm living this life that gives me the schedule and the flexibility to be that mom, to have all the kids over at my house, to be the mom that shows up at 1 o'clock for the practices, and that to me is everything. I'm going to skip this slide because I'm going to bring this down a little bit. So mindset is the key. Mindset is your entire belief system. It is how you perceive your world and the world around you, okay? So mindset and developing the right kind of mindset is going to help you break the chains of limiting beliefs. Then, like Bedros was saying, the right mindset, the right coaches, the right tools, the right resources, taking massive imperfect action, and that will lead to living a life of your version of freedom and success. Sound good? Everybody wants that, right? You with me? Yeah. All right, you guys are way too quiet. I'm gonna have to get really crazy in a second. You don't want that to happen. Okay, I have to tell you, I'm gonna be really honest and transparent. So I'm gonna get a little bit more personal today than I did. How many of you were at Fitness Business Summit 2010 and saw the presentation in some form or fashion? Cool. So I'm gonna skip through some of it, but I will tell you that I'm pretty confident that Bedros has me standing in front of you because guess what? I'm so not perfect, and it has not been an easy road for me, and as my coach and now my friend, he's seen me approach stumbling block and setback, and I've managed to kick butt anyway. So that is all because of crafting the right mindset over time. So really quickly, I went from corporate America to the fitness business. I went from making north of 6 figures a year in corporate America to trading dollars for hours. And as a personal trainer, was struggling to get by, was not able to, barely paying rent, barely paying groceries. A friend said, you've got to go to Fitness Business Summit 2010. I did. I got an investor to help me buy into Fit Body Bootcamp. That first 9 months, right there was a huge struggle. After I got into Fit Body Bootcamp, it was not easy for me. It wasn't an instant success. And that's where I went to the first Fit Body Bootcamp World Conference. And thanks to Bedros being completely honest with me, which all good coaches should be, he looked at me and said exactly that. I have not seen you flip that switch. I went home and I thought, gosh, you know, I'm working really hard. I'm putting all these resources together. It still wasn't happening for me. January of 2011, I was again faced with this decision. Am I going to have to go back to corporate America? This isn't working. After Fitness Business Summit, after we bought in at the Calamasa location, or bought our first boot camp location, I moved from Orange County to Inland Empire, got married. We had a personal training studio that I realized once I got out there was not doing too well, so now we're trying to build this personal training studio and the boot camp at the same time, and it was not going well at all. January, thought I was going to lose it all, and that is when I really started to understand what flipping the switch meant. And I took a hard, introspective look at what was going on. I had the same resources, the same tools. Kara, John, and I all joined on, I think, the same year. And they were doing amazing. And I was so not. And I know I'm driven, and I know I'm pretty smart. I try to be. And I couldn't figure it out. And I finally realized the issue was not my tools. It wasn't my resources. It wasn't my coaches. It was me. I was standing in my own way. So I started showing up at more conferences, buying more products and resources, and really started to understand and hear what Bedros and so many others had been telling me about mindset. So the key takeaways from me, and then I'll share with you how I've integrated them now over the last 2 years, but this is where it started. You need to challenge your beliefs and ask yourself your questions. What is standing in your way? What are your biggest fears? What are your biggest obstacles? For me, this was it, and these top 5 are what I hear a lot of people struggling are dealing with. I had an unclear vision. So I knew I was passionate, and I knew I wanted to follow this dream of pursuing or inspiring other women to change their lifestyle to healthy and fit, but it wasn't defined. It was kind of fluffy and out there, and I knew I wanted it, but I didn't know how to really own it and how to get there. Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz is, did I say that backwards? Maltz, sorry, is an amazing book, and really what started the whole road to understanding and comprehending the value of mindset and how to really make a difference in my life. In that, they talk about writing a detailed vision. Craig and Bedros had talked about it as well. I would not only write it out, but I spent regular time actually living in that vision, like literally sitting down, imagining myself in that vision. 5, 10 years from now, how many people am I going to help? I want to be, what is crazy, Bedros didn't know this at the time, but the big picture for me is to speak and to motivate in addition to all this other stuff. So I wrote it out. I imagined myself being in front of thousands of people. I imagined the house that I would have, the cars that I would drive, what I want to be able to provide for my family, and the number of people. Spending time in that, because I had not been there yet, it was hard for me to truly own that vision. So by absorbing it on a regular basis, you start to own it for yourself. Does that make sense? Yeah? Fear of failure. I was so afraid to get out in front of businesses. Here I think I'm this, confident person, and I was not. I was hiding behind my computer, and I was afraid to step out. And what I was most afraid of was failing. And I took that failure from that fear of failure into there is no option. Failing is not a choice. There is no plan B, as Mike Perella said at the Fitness Business Summit. There's only plan A. But that was an evolving process. So one of the other key factors, my need for perfection, total type A personality. If we're entrepreneurs and we're in this room, most of us think everything has to be perfect. The most freeing moment for me was when I finally realized that taking imperfect action is the best thing I could do for my business. And that happened by reading Shauna's blog that she wrote probably a year ago now, where she was saying that she had that same issue, and when she started taking imperfect action, her business really skyrocketed, and she was able to take it to the next level. And the idea being that you just need to move forward. Don't get stuck on analysis of paralysis, just get it done. Also, money is finite and scarce. I would blame it on the economy. I was living in a podunk town. That was why things weren't working. People couldn't afford it. These were all the thoughts that were going through my head, and I realized that it is our job and our mission to help change the course of health and wellness in our country. With obesity rates and diseases at the height of what they're at now, we have a gift and an ability to help others get healthy and fit. We owe it to them to do that for them. And when they understand that value that we have to give them, they're going to pay whatever they need to pay. They'll pull money out of their mattress if they need to make it happen. So now I've gone from money is finite and scarce to it's actually plentiful. When you need it, you'll find a way to make it happen. And I also had a limited view on my success. Even though I had been successful at one area, I still didn't actually see myself as high and as great, or what I thought was high, as some of the others like a Bedros or an Alan Qualsgrove or even Josh Carter and the massive businesses that they have built up. I didn't really own it, and it just needed to click for me, so it did. I will tell you that the key factors for me were changing my circle of influence and stepping out, going to those conferences. You want to be around positive, like-minded people that are going to be uplifting for you and support your goals and objectives. Get rid of all the negativity in your life. And make sure that you're moving forward. Show up at conferences, show up at the masterminds, whether you think you can afford it or not, keep moving forward. Each step, it was a leap of faith. When I joined even Fit Body Bootcamp Mastermind, by that time I was doing okay. I was doing well, I should say. But it was like, that's an investment, right? And that's a pretty good chunk of change for a monthly thing. made back that first investment within 3 weeks just based on a single promo that we had talked about in my first meeting. And from there, since I first joined the mastermind, just since February, my EFT had a little bit of up and down. We'll talk about that in a minute. But my EFT overall, sometimes I talk too fast for my own good, doubled. Literally doubled my business. And it's absolutely because of my amazing people in my mastermind and the coaching and accesses. Surround yourself virtually by books, blogs, info products. I would spend time, and I still do on a regular basis, especially if I was having a bad day, get out, read a blog, read an ebook, get out of your own headspace and into somebody else's. Be intentional and consistent. Don't just assume things are going to happen. You need to plan your day, plan your week. Don't take things for granted that it's just going to all work out. Be intentional and be consistent with your actions and thoughts. So what I need to tell you is kind of the behind the scenes so that you can get a little bit of a look into the significance and how this ultimately, I started building this mindset 2 years ago, but how it's gotten me to where I am today, despite life changes. So in 2011, after that switch flipped, I started to really build the Cala Mesa location. Things were going well. So I got into a sublease agreement in Redlands because it looked as if that was the right thing to do at the time. And I made another leap of faith and joined the mastermind. Kind of tangent to that, parallel to that, what was going on my personal life was that my husband and I had been married less than a year. And we had already experienced a series of tragedies. I told you that we were really struggling financially. We thought we were going to have to both, he ended up having to take a part-time job at the beginning of November or January. One more thing to add to it, we found out that one of our sons was having to move out of state. It was his son. This is the most involved dad you've ever seen. Every single birthday, every single holiday, whether mom was there or not, he was there at every single doctor's appointment. So to him, to think about his son leaving out of state, that was basically we were dealing with the death of a child in his mind. So needless to say, I am far from perfect, and I have a lot of things I need to work on too. But we spent that entire year of 2011 really struggling, despite how much you want to fight for something, and despite everything you feel like you're doing, you can't always control every situation. So Bedros called and asked me to speak at Fitness Business Summit. By the time we are now at the beginning of 2012, after a long year and a lot of hard decisions, 2 weeks before Fitness Business Summit, my husband and I separated. I wasn't obviously prepared to talk about that at Fitness Business Summit, but this is the deal. It's not about me. It's about the fact that that foundation of the mindset is what got me through it. That's what got me on stage. That's what got me to the point to be able to speak to all of you, because I was not about to let go of my vision. I was not about to let Bedros down, and I was not about to let the hundreds of people in the room down. I focused back on my vision. I focused back on the core values, right? So then after that, my business has done amazing this year because, again, focusing on that mindset and the core values. Another hiccup just recently, I took my first vacation in 4 years. This is now just 2 minutes. Oh, we're doing good. Okay, I'm looking at the clock. I think I have 13. So I took my first vacation in 4 years. And I thought I had a good team in place. I had a trainer, and I had a good assistant. I actually had 2 trainers and a good assistant. Took my first vacation in 4 years. Just before that, based on my mastermind group, I had decided to get a standalone location for Redlands. That was totally fallen in place. It was all in the works, so I'm ready to go. I'm off on my vacation. While I was gone, one of my trainers decided that he was going to, I later found out, sublease a boot camp in another location. So while I'm on vacation, he decides to do what we all are afraid of trainers will do, and it was not a good situation. So I'm trying to deal with that while I'm gone, get home. On top of that, literally that same week, my assistant, who has been in my program for 3 years, decides she's upset that she's not the full-time trainer. That turns into a whole scene in of itself. She decides to discuss that with other clients, and it created this very negative culture. This is all within a 2-week period, that same period of time, a CrossFit opened 1 building over. Let me just tell you, within 2 weeks, I lost $2,500 in EFT revenue at that one location, right as I was getting ready to sign Redlands. So did it feel like, oh my gosh, what is happening? I mean, I'm a pretty good gut check when it comes to people, and these were the craziest series of circumstances. My point is to share this with you so that you know, if you've never dealt with anything to struggle yet, that's awesome. It's gonna happen. It's just life. You can't control what happens around you, but you can control how you react to it and your choices thereafter. Make sense? So I had a choice when I was dealing with all this in this 3-week period and all this craziness, and I'm about to sign this 3-year lease in my Redlands location. Do I move forward, or am I going to be really fearful? And am I going to focus on Calamasa and focus on all the negative and focus on anything that could, would, should happen? Or am I going to dig deep and kick some serious butt? So thank God I have amazing coaches and friends, and trust me, I was calling on them. I was on the phone with Kara, I was on the phone with Shauna, I was on the phone with Bedros. But my point is that yes, there were bad moments, bad days, but don't stay there. Reach out, make things happen for yourself. Focus back on your vision. There was a lot of rumors going around at that same time. I don't even know what they are, don't care. I know who I am, and I know who I'm not because of my core values. So I decided to dig deep, push forward, went forward with the Redlands location. Today, we're 2 weeks into it. I ran a 21-day rapid fat loss, brought 85 clients in between the 2 locations. If we only secure half of those, because it is a promo, we'll be better than we were before at the Calamasa location, and we'll be starting with a full crew in Redlands within less than a month of opening. That is pretty cool. If I had stopped, if I had focused on all the negative, if I had not gone and focused on my vision and my core values, I would not be sharing this same story with you today. Mindset made the biggest difference for me. So how do you harness the power of mindset? You need to define your vision, like we were talking about before. Be specific, spend time in it, write it down, review it regularly. Define your core values. That was another important key to me as well. And we have that now for Fit Body Bootcamp as well, but I originally heard that from Craig in terms of Craig Valentine, in terms of every decision you make, gut check it against your core values. If it does not fit, if it's not in line with your core values, then it's not the right decision. And things are gonna happen, and when you start to get stressed out, just go back to your core values. You are who you are. Nobody else defines that for you. Expect the unexpected, obviously. My vision is the same. There might be some parts of it that do not look exactly like I had planned them to look, but my vision is the same. Everything that happens in between, yeah, the unexpected is gonna happen. Stay focused on your vision and deal with each step. Keep moving forward. Be intentional, be consistent in your actions, be determined, and be driven, yeah? You guys are all 100% capable, because with the right mindset, you can break the same chains of limited beliefs. With the right mindset, you can build. With the right tools and resources and coaching, you can define your life of freedom and success, yeah? Every single one of you in here is just as capable. There is not one person better than the other. You all have it at your fingertips. Yeah? Good.